you. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here today. I am so thrilled to be sitting here with Kelly Luft. Now, Kelly is a stage manager I've now worked with several times and is really one of the best in the business. So we're very lucky to have her here today. She was born and raised in St. Thomas, which she still calls home. Kelly earned her theater degree from the University of Guelph, specializing in stage management and directing. Her career began on London's famed West End, where she worked for 2 exciting years before returning home. Since then, she's stage managed over 120 operas, musicals, and plays, working extensively across Canada and the United States. Luckily for us, Kelly proudly calls the Grand Theatre her favorite theatre in the world and has been working here consistently since 1997. This season, she will stage manage Frozen, that we're working on together. Kelly absolutely loves her job, she tells us, even when things inevitably go wrong. Please join me in welcoming Kelly Luft.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thank you very much, Rachel. That's a lovely intro. Thank you.
So Kelly, just to be clear, Kelly is not stage managing the show you're going to see today. That stage manager's name is Jordan Guder, and Jordan is busily making things happen backstage. But Jordan is going to be part of the Frozen stage management team as well. But we thought, with Kelly's extensive experience here at the Grand, that she would be a great person to talk about the magic of how to make a play go right, when what you'll see later is about how it goes wrong. But right. So to begin with, Kelly, can you just talk to us a little bit about what the role of a stage manager is for people who might not be familiar?
Sure. A stage manager is what we do. I get asked that all the time. We are the communication hub, really, of the whole production. We bring the designers, the director, the actors, the crew. We're kind of what I call leaders of the band that way in the communication. You get wants and needs from one department and you communicate it to another. We run the rehearsals, we schedule the rehearsals, we are the recipient of complaints, we are and we take those as they come, and we are good listeners, really. Good stage managers are good listeners, that's what we do. We usually work in a team, depending on the size of the show, a team of 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5, actually, on bigger shows. For Frozen, we have a team of 4, plus a co-op student who's doing a work placement with us from Sheridan. So I'm calling it a team of 5. That's kind of what we do in a nutshell.
It is what you do in a nutshell, but you've sort of left out the sort of second half. So stage management has sort of two sides to it. All of making a play does. There's the rehearsal side, and then there's the running side. So one thing that I think a lot of people don't know about is the stage manager's job during the show. And the stage manager sits up in the booth. The assistant stage managers are backstage, and their jobs differ quite a bit. Can you talk a little bit about calling a show?
Sure. What we do when it all comes together, when you see the show, when we start in the booth, we're on headset, and we again are communicating with all departments. So we start the show. We are the timekeepers of the show, and we do what, as Rachel says, we call a show. So we tell all of the crew when to do their jobs, like what you'll see, the curtain coming up. So we tell the flyman to bring the curtain up, and we tell the lighting department when to change the lights. We tell the sound department when the sound cues happen. So we are the leaders of the show itself when it's running. And so we are talking constantly to folks.
What Kelly's talking about right now, too, is a huge part of the artistry of stage management. So she would be sitting in the booth with the script and the score, and every moment that happens on stage happens at the timing that it's supposed to because of Kelly. And of course, she's got to back time things because she's relaying messages to somebody who's doing the ropes up there, or someone who's at a lighting board, or someone else who's over here. So there's a real nuance to that. And so my job as a director finishes at opening night, and I hand the show over to Kelly. So our collaboration is what builds the artistry and the rhythm of a show that then Kelly executes along with the entire team every night.
Yeah, that's true. And Rachel has a vision, and it's my job to keep that vision and the integrity of the show through the run. So Rachel, or the director, Rachel in particular, I'm talking Frozen, will know what the final product wants to look like. And so it's my job to make that happen as well.
Can you talk a little bit about how you became a stage manager, how one becomes a stage manager, and then also how you did?
Sure. Stage management, some people fall into, and some people kind of dream about it since they're two. For my particular path, I, in high school, was not interested in theater at all. Went to university with a major in English, and I took a tech theater course as an elective. And I thought, oh, this is I can do this. And I really loved it. And there was no 8 o'clock in the morning classes, so that was a big draw to me. It was something that I didn't have to get dressed up in high heels to have a career in. And so I kind of fell into it that way and thought that I would get a major in that, so I did that. And then at University of Guelph is where I went. And I still believe today that every stage manager has to have some sort of degree or a diploma in, not necessarily in theater, but in something, because it proves that you can learn and you are able to have the fortitude to continue. And so my path, I got my degree, and then I still didn't know what I wanted to do in theater because we had to take costumes. I knew I didn't want to do that. Props, sound, lighting. We took courses in every aspect. And then I put a backpack on my back and went to Europe for 2 years and ended up in the West End. I sent my resume out there. I decided to stay and got kind of taken under a wing of a Canadian producer there. And he kind of taught me the ropes through the West End, and then came home and sent my resumes out here. I still didn't know if I wanted to be a stage manager, but I sent it out to, you have to apprentice to be a stage manager as well for 7 or 8 shows. So I sent it out as an apprentice and just kind of, I got my first job in Toronto, and that kind of went from there. And did 8 shows, and people liked my work, and so they kept offering me more jobs, that's how I became a stage manager.
Thank you, that's great. So this is a play about things going wrong. Can you talk about how the role of a stage manager fits in with all the things that can go wrong in live theater?
Yes, the show you're about to see today, there's lots of things that go wrong, and I have now seen this show, and I have experienced a lot of these things that have gone wrong. So you always kind of have a plan with the stage managers on deck and the crew and the stage managers are up in the booth around, that you always have a series of what ifs. What if this goes wrong? What do we do? What if this goes wrong? What do we do? So you can never have a plan for everything, of course. I've had a couple of things go wrong that we didn't have plans for, that you have to think on your feet real quick and figure out what to do in the moment. I'll give you one example. I was doing an opera in Ottawa, and it was opening night. And it used to be, opening nights are quite special in the theater, and everyone's on heightened awareness and heightened nerves. And one of the singers wasn't a main singer, it was kind of a featured singer, but still a singer. In opera, you rarely have understudies. You don't, really. You never do, really. And one of the singers at the half-hour call, so which means that it's 1 half hour before the curtain starts, he came to me and said, I think I've eaten some sunflowers and I'm allergic to sunflowers. And I said, okay, so go back to your dressing room and I'll check on you. And I called the half-hour call, that's part of my job. And I went back to his dressing room, and sure enough, he was having a major allergic reaction. So we were lucky to have a doctor in our cast. And so he came in and said he's got to go to the hospital right away. So we efficiently called the ambulance, gave him the EpiPen, off he went. And it was about 10 minutes to opening night, to the curtain time. We went, okay, he's great. He's gonna stay alive. And now what do we do? Because now we don't have a singer for this role. So I always collaborate with people around me. I never make decisions on my own. I went to the two major singers and said, what do you want me to do? And they said, put a body out there and have someone sing the role off stage. So that's what we did. We opened about 10 minutes late, but we managed to do a quick rehearsal, and we put our piano player, called the répétiteur in opera, she put a cloak on so nobody could see her face, and she walked around where the singer would have gone, and the two main singers would sing to her, but with her back to the audience. So the audience didn't know. And then we had a chorus member, a male singer, sing it off stage on a mic. So we managed to pull it together. But it's quite stressful when something goes wrong and you have to figure it all out in 10 minutes. So that's a good example of something that went wrong.
The thing about stage managers, though, is you never see them sweat. They never, in these most incredible, intense situations, they just solve that problem, and then the next problem, and the next problem. So it's quite an incredible thing. I stage managed twice in my life. I was terrible at it. The first one of the actors had these prosthetic feet that hurt her feet so badly, and she would come and she would just yell at me. She would complain about them, and I would sit there like, feeling like I had torn her feet apart, not understanding that it was my job to take the notes, to channel what was going on for her, and to pass them on. And then the other one, I was calling the show, and I just would get so absorbed in the show, I would forget to call the cues. And it was quite a realistic show, and there was one where the lights were switched, and I put the technician in standby, because you ask them to stand by so they know there's a cue coming. And then I heard over my headset, is that a go? Is that a go? And I looked up, and the actor was flipping the light switch, like looking around, because nothing was happening. So I knew that it was not my calling in life. But we thought it would be kind of fun for you to get a bit of a feeling of what it sounds like to call a show. So we have an excerpt. This is your warning, Erin. Just a sort of 45-second clip of Kelly calling Frozen. So the Frozen that we're going to do next show is a co-production between the Grand and Citadel. So we've done it once before, and this will give you a little sense of what it sounds like to everybody on headsets. Go ahead, Erin.
Lights 182, video 27, rail 6, auto 30, and pillars. Go. Lights. Go. Lights. Go. Lights. Go. Lights. Go. Lights. Go. Lights. Go. Lights, video on rail. Go. Spot 2, go. Lights, go. Lights, auto 40, and pillars, go. Lights 206, go. Lights 208, go. Semi in the bed on.
Just wondering how you've been. Do you maybe wanna take a walk?
Lights 212 and video 30.
Or let me in.
Go.
Okay, great. Thank you, Erin. So that gives you a little bit of a sense of it. So you can hear sometimes she's calling a light like a cue number, and other times there's not enough time, so it just goes. So can you talk a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, sure. Every cue, every time you heard me speak, there is a number attached, which each designer would give me. And sometimes I don't call them because there isn't enough time. And I have my head in the music because it has to happen on a certain note. And so I do occasional numbers just to check in with the operators, make sure we're on the same page with the numbers. Because sometimes we're all human, so we all make mistakes. So we just want to make sure that we're in sync with numbers that way. And the auto, what you heard with the auto was automation. So I shorten them so I can speak clearly. Automation and video and rail are things that go up and down. And I tried to, for this archival, I tried to call as many numbers as I could, just because it might not have been me doing it again. So I just wanted to make sure you document everything just in case. The famous saying is, in case I get hit by a bus, somebody else has to do it. That's what we say all the time. And I don't know anybody who's been hit by a bus. But we do keep saying it. So that's why the numbers are important.
Thank you for that. Because we're in this setting of the play that goes wrong today, we were chatting with Kelly a little bit ahead of time about some things going wrong, because another big part of the stage manager's role is safety, and it's a push-pull in the theater because we do take risks, but it requires us to do so in an environment that is safe as possible. And so that combination is a sort of a tightrope that we walk, and the stage manager holds a lot of responsibility for that. As you'll see in this, when there is a character of the stage manager in the show today who is very put upon for everything that goes wrong. I wonder if you could tell us another story. I'm thinking about the story of the basket, of having to manage safety.
Yeah, safety is very important, and no matter what, safety we put above all. If something is not safe, we stop and we make it safe. An instance, I was doing another opera. It always happens in opera, except for today. It always happens in opera. Opera is usually, we don't rehearse very much in opera. And really it's all about the music. Directors come in and have a grandiose vision of making it look beautiful, but sometimes there's really not enough time. But for instance, one instance, I was doing a magic flute, and if any of you folks know magic flute, there's 3 genies, we call them, or spirits, and they're usually sung by young folks, girls or boys, and I'm talking kids. When I say young folks, I'm talking anywhere from 6 to 10. And we had a production that we were doing in Ottawa again, and these genies were loaded into a basket off stage, and then they were lifted up. And so when the audience saw them singing their song, they would be tracking across in a cloud. It looked like a cloud going across the stage. And the idea was for them to start their song off one side, and the audience would see them, and they go right across all the way. And by the time they got to the other side, they finished their song. So one particular evening in this particular production, the kids were loaded up fine, safety fine, up they went fine, and they started to track across. Well, they got to the middle and they were stuck. They couldn't something was wrong with the track, and so they couldn't keep going. So the kids finished their song in the middle, and then we brought down a curtain or a drop in front of them, which was planned anyway because there was a little scene going on in front of the curtain anyway. But then behind the curtain, we couldn't get them down. So we had to, and of course with an opera, it's usually a bigger crew. So there was about 15 people on headset telling me what to do and how to solve this. And so I finally had to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, because someone has to be the leader. And so I had to stop everyone from talking, and I had to confer with my head carpenter, who is the head crew member on the deck, on the stage. And we managed to wrench the genies over, and then they sat up in the basket for a while off stage while the curtain came up and we continued on. And we had to get ladders up for the kids to come down, but that basket stayed up for the rest of the time off stage. And we didn't need it again. But it was quite, you have to take all departments into consideration of how it will affect. We had a little bit of a worry because we weren't sure whether the basket was going to come falling down or not off stage. So we had to secure the space. And this is all going on around me while I'm calling the show, like what you heard. So that was something that went wrong, but nobody knew that it went wrong.
Great, thank you. I'd love to open it up for any questions that any of you might have from what you're hearing. Yes?
Yeah, I have a question for you. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Do you have a favorite production?
I knew somebody was going to ask me that today.
You sound like a quarterback.
She is a quarterback, yeah.
You make a perfect quarterback.
Oh, great. Except I can't throw a football. Okay. Do I have a favorite production? So I was thinking about that this morning, and I don't really. I love every production or hate every production in a different way. I've been doing it so long that I can't remember some productions that I've done. But I love working here at the Grand Theatre, and it is, again, my home. I feel like it's my home. There's been lots of productions here that I've done. Upcoming, I do love Frozen. You have to come and see Frozen because it's spectacular, and it's got all the elements of magic and beauty and really, like, kids, adults. I do love that show, but other than that, I'm kind of an opera gal too. I've been doing opera a lot longer than I've been doing theater, and so I do love being yelled at in Russian. Crazy, but I do love opera, and there's many productions that I've done there that I consider favorites. So if you have 3 hours, come back, we'll chat.
Oh, question way over there. Has she ever turned a production down?
Yes. Yes, I have. I've been, for various reasons, I've had 2 babies, so I've had to turn productions down in those eras. And also, I've been very blessed enough to have choices of sometimes of do you want to do this production or this production? So I really weigh a lot of, sometimes I read the script or listen to the show, the opera, before I do it. And it depends where it is too. Some theaters I choose not to work at, and some I do. So yes, the answer is
Yes.
How many productions would you do in a year?
How many productions would she do in a year?
it varies how long the productions run for. Usually 3 or 4. Sometimes I go contract to contract. So opera contracts are usually 6 to 8 weeks. Stratford, if I just finished a show at Stratford where I was there for 4 months. So you can't really do 4 shows and for 4 months really in a year, but usually 2 or 3 a year.
Yes.
Do stage managers enjoy being in the audience when they're not working?
Do stage managers enjoy being in the audience and not working?
Well, considering the last show I saw when I wasn't working was this show you're about to see, and boy, there's a lot of things go wrong. So my brain goes, oh, how did they do that? Or what? Oh, is that supposed to? Oh, yeah, that is supposed to go wrong. Or is it supposed to go wrong? So it's varied. With I find it hard to go for just entertainment anymore because my brain is like, oh, that lighting is horrible, or I love that costume, or that acting is great, you know. So that I do go, but I find it hard for entertainment.
Yes.
How many calls are there in Frozen, and how many screens or pages?
Well, my book is about this thick, so I would say there's probably over 1,000 cues altogether, and it is probably when I put the music and the words together, I combine them in my book. So I would say it's probably 300 to 350 pages together.
I mean, Frozen is in theater, not including opera, because opera is its own thing, but Frozen's probably on the far end of that. But like a big musical will have 300 to 500 lighting cues, and then Frozen also has video and then and all the
Yeah.
other things. Yeah. Question in the back there?
Rachel, what are the effects of co-production?
What are the effects of co-productions?
Is it for economy?
Ah.
Why are there, they seem to be increasing?
So the question is why we do co-pros, why we do co-productions. The number seems to be increasing. It's a number of things. It is economics. Really big shows are hard for us to do on our own. It allows us to spread the cost of the front end, the rehearsals, the design, the creation process. It also allows for a sort of greater cross-pollination, so artists getting to work across the country and audiences being able to see shows from across the country. And I think it's also, it allows us, there are certain shows that we could do on our own, but if we do it as a partnership, it allows us to dream bigger and go further with it. And so that value seems to further the art form and allow us to explore bigger things. Okay. Back there, please. Thank you.
And who travels with the co-productions? Does the stage manager stay the same? What are the roles?
The question is who travels with the co-production? The answer is the majority of people, not the stage crew. The stage crew is local to the theater where it's being done. 2 of the 3 stage, well, no, because there are 5 stage managements. So
There's the stage manager for Frozen, for instance, stage manager and 1 of the assistant stage managers are the same, and we have a new assistant and a new apprentice. So and the co-op student is just beautiful and wonderful to have here. So it's usually, if we can do it, the stage manager will go because they're supposed to know everything. We don't. But you're supposed to know everything. And then the assistant, who is the stage manager of the stage, will be invaluable with information. We try and put it all down on paper, and we try and video everything, but of course you just can't. You just can't. There are certain nuances that can't be documented. So it's important to have a consistent member of the team.
And then usually the whole cast will travel. If in the case of young people, children, they're usually local. So in the case of Frozen, we have local young company on that show. I mean, given the wave that we have to wrap up, I'm sorry. Thank you for all your great questions. A huge thank you to Kelly for coming and sharing some of her expertise with us here today.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.